This is a skirt I've made with basically a tube of fabric, but I've used shirring elastic around the top. I've got a lot of skirts that are like this that I've bought, and every time I buy one, I think, oh, I could make one of those. And the beauty is you can make it to your perfect size and in the fabric that you choose to make it from as well. So it does have elastic around the top. So there's 1 inch elastic and a channel wrapped around the top. That makes it extra secure when you're wearing it. And I've shirred it around about 7 inches from the top. So that'll go down to the top of my hips. And lengthwise on this one, I did put a ruffle around the bottom, but it comes down to the floor on me. So it's a proper long maxi skirt, but I find them really comfortable to make, very affordable to make, and really comfortable to wear as well. So fabric wise, this is a viscose. It's perfect because it's nice and floaty. If you have a fabric that's too heavy, when this is all gathered, it's going to stick out around the hip area, which I don't think anybody wants. The skirt that I'm making in the video is this one. So same idea, but this time I decided to leave off the ruffle around the bottom. So that one's just hemmed, but the same thing at the top. It's the same size, same amount of fabric, and all of that stretch around the top as well. Now this is a cotton, but it's a fine cotton, so it again, it's not going to billow out around the hips. So I'll give you lots of hints and tips. The key thing is to practice first of all. So take your measurements, and I'll explain this in just a second. You may have a piece of fabric left over. Use that fabric to do a test on your sewing machine, because you may or may not need to adjust the tension. You may or may not want to increase the stitch length. On my machine, I've got a Juki DX7. I increase the tension to its fullest and the stitch length to its longest. I also have a Juki straight stitch machine, and again, I needed to increase the tension there. But from speaking to other people, sometimes you don't need to increase the tension. So try on a small piece of fabric first, of the fabric that you're using, and just make sure that the settings are right for you. And I do have some hints and tips as well. When you start sewing the shirring, it'll gather a little bit. But the more times you go around, the more it seems to gather. And then right at the end of the video, I'll show you how you can shrink that elastic a little bit more by using the heat from a hot steam iron as well. And that really tightens it all up and gives you the effect that you want. So watch the video and then go and have a think about what type of fabric you want to use. Is it going to be a winter skirt or a summer skirt? Choose your fabrics and we'll get sewing. So to measure how much fabric you're going to need, you'll need to measure your hips, because that's normally wider than your waist, or the widest part of your body. If your waist is wider than your hips, then measure your waist, and then times that by 1.5. So I've used the width of the fabric and then cut a piece off the side. So that would be my waist, my hips, plus half again, and I've sewn these two pieces together to make a tube. Now on my skirt I have put elastic around the waistband because I just wanted to make that nice and secure, just in case my shirring elastic didn't shrink as much as I wanted it to. So to encase the elastic, I folded the top over by about 1/2 inch and then over again by just over 1 inch, and this is going to make the casing where my elastic's going to go. I'm going to use 1 inch wide elastic, and do this now before you start shirring, because once this all gathers up, you're going to find it very difficult to hem. So even if this is going to be a top, or you're not going to use elastic in the skirt, always hem the top before you start the shirring. So let me just sew along here, and I will need to leave a gap so I can actually fit the elastic in. So I'll just backstitch there and then sew all around. So I'll just backstitch there, and there's the gap so I can feed the elastic through when I've finished. Now with your shirring elastic, this is going to go just in the bottom bobbin, so it doesn't go in the top, just goes in the bottom. And I do have some elastic which is pretty much the same color as my fabric, so I'll just trim the end of that because it's fraying a little bit. So basically you've got cotton wrapped round an elastic core. So let's pop that on there, and we're going to hand wind this around the bobbin. Now don't pull it tight, because if you do, it'll all come unsprung very quickly when you let go of it. So this is why it takes quite a few bobbins full of elastic to make the whole, whoops, to make the whole area elasticated. So let's just keep winding that round. So don't pull it tight. Fill the bobbin up as tightly as you can, or as much as you can. And I'm just winding kind of up and down the length of the bobbin. So this then goes into the bobbin casing, just like your normal thread. So I'm going through the tension, but I'm just going to wind the needle up and down just to pull the elastic through to the top and to the back, and pop the lid on. Then another couple of things we need to do is to increase your stitch length to its longest. So on my machine, that's a number 5. And with your tension, we'll need to put that up to the maximum. So that on mine is a +3. And then we'll start to sew. So because my dress is in a tube, I can sew round and round in a spiral, so I don't have to stop, turn round and go back again. And do be aware that the shirring elastic is in the bottom, so we want that to be on the inside of the fabric. So I'm just going to start sewing a machine foot width from the seam that I've just sewn here, and I'll use that as my guide to sew all the way around. So as we start to go, you'll see your fabric should be gathering up like this already, and the more times you go round, the more it'll gather. So you will need to fill your bobbin up a few times. So just watch out for when it runs out of thread. And we'll just keep going round and round until we need to reload it. So that's how we're looking from the outside. When you come to the final line of your elastic, just blend it into the previous line so it just doesn't stop suddenly. Another thing to mention, when you do join the elastic together, and you will need to do that, either backstitch or take the elastic through to the back and tie it in a knot, just so that you don't find that that comes unraveled halfway through the shirring, because that wouldn't look very good at all. Now then, we can make this shrink a little bit more. So if that's not as tight as you'd like it to be, and as I said at the beginning, it does vary from machine to machine, I found anyway with my machines. Some will do it a little bit better than others, but let's just turn this back inside out. So that's what we're looking like from the inside now. And now you can see that my lines may be a little bit wobbly in places, but it really doesn't matter, and it doesn't show from the outside. And let's take my ironing mat, a hot iron and steam. So I'm not going to place the iron directly onto the elastic. I'm going to get a little bit of steam going here and just put it close and see if I can shrink that elastic down a little bit. Can you see that pulling tighter together? So just glide over until it starts to pull. So it's not going to shrink massively, but if you can tell from that section that I've done, it's just a little bit tighter than on the other side. So I'm going to just do that all the way around. Now I'm going to put some elastic through the channel. So that's where I left the gap. So you'll need some kind of threading tool or a safety pin. Let's just pop that on there. And push this all the way around the channel. Obviously don't get it twisted as you go. And then we'll sew the ends together. Now this is a nice secure way of preventing your dress from falling down. You could put a cord through here instead if you wish and tie it at the front. Maybe put a couple of buttonholes in the waistband at the front and thread a cord through. So that would be a nice little extra touch. I just think with the shirring elastic being the one thing that's holding the skirt up, might not be too reliable. So this is a belt and braces waistband, if you like, just to make sure it stays in place. So again, let's just keep threading this through, keeping it flat. Until we get back to the beginning. So again, I'm just double checking that the elastic isn't twisted inside the channel. And we'll sew the ends together, overlapping, just to keep that nice and flat. So I'm just going to use a zigzag stitch to do that. And I'll go back over it again. Just to make that nice and secure. So let's pull the elastic inside and just spread out the waistband so it's nice and even all the way around. That disappears inside. And then I'll need to sew the opening closed. So pop that underneath and stretch the elastic, whoops, back to a straight stitch. So stretch that flat and sew. Now just to help to keep the elastic from turning over, particularly after you've washed it, I'm going to, again, even those gathers out all around, and then where the side seams are, there we go, I'm going to just sew a straight line down and up, maybe at 4 intervals, so each side and front and back. So that'll prevent the fabric from, or is it prevent the elastic from flipping over. And just match those so I can, there we go, mark the front and back. You won't see these stitches because they're inside the gathers. And the same on that side. So that's the top of my skirt done. And for the hem, I I'll try the skirt on again now and just make sure that the length is exactly how I want it to be. And I'm just going to fold the hem over by about 1/4 of an inch, and then again by 1/2 an inch, and sew all the way around. Now you can mark and pin that if you wish. You could iron it first if that helps. I'm just going to sew it as it is. Now with the floral skirt that I made before, this one had a ruffle around the bottom. So I don't want to put it on this skirt, but if you wanted to add a ruffle, then that would work really well. So that again is the shirring at the top with the elastication in the channel. So here I've put a border around the bottom, which is about 10 inches deep. Again, you'll need to measure that against yourself to see how long you want this to be and how long you want the ruffle to be. This comes on me almost down to the floor, so it's proper maxi skirt. So measure the hem of your skirt, and this piece is twice the length. If you wanted to make it fuller, you could do 2.5 or even 3 times the length. Mine's quite flat, so it's not heavily gathered all the way around. So again, that's up to you. And then you'll gather this. So 2 rows of stitching on your sewing machine, and then pull the bottom threads through until it's evenly gathered. Just keep pulling and evening out those gathers until it's the same size as the hem. You're going to sew that into a circle, and then mark the 1/4 points and mark the 1/4 points on the hem of your skirt. Match those points and sew them right sides together. Now, if you've got an overlocker, that's going to be even easier because you can gather on your overlocker. You may be able to use a gathering stitch on your sewing machine as well. And in fact, you could construct all of this with your overlocker. It'll finish the seams really nicely too. And then when that's put on, I folded over the hem twice and sewed it in place. So it's a nice way of adding an extra little bit of detail. But if you don't want the fuss, then just take your skirt, try it on, mark how long you want it to be, add maybe 1 inch to the hem, because that's how much you're going to fold that over and fold over again to sew. So I'm just going to go for it like this. So again, fold over once, fold over twice. It's quite easy on a fabric like this that already has a line on it to follow. But again, if you prefer to pin or mark before you sew, then of course that's up to you. So we'll carry on sewing all around, and then one final press and we're finished. And there is my skirt all finished and ready to wear. I just find these types of skirts really comfortable to wear, and easy to make as well. So it looks a lot more complicated than it is. But as I said right at the beginning, the key thing is to try out your different tensions and stitch lengths on your machine and see what works best for you. And then enjoy making it, choosing your fabric and wearing it. I'll see you again next time.